This has nothing to do with being anti-farm. It has to do with being pro-water. And I am the I'm the co-founder of Farms Not Factories, which is a grassroots group that we formed in response to a proposal for 26,000 hogs in the Lake Superior Basin. I'm also the president of the newly reinvigorated Sustaining Rural Wisconsin Network. Yeah, we need to do some of that for the Sustaining Rural Wisconsin Network. Our network consists of many grassroots organizations from around the state who are working together and leveraging our collective experiences, wisdoms, and might to protect our communities from the well-documented damage caused by the CAFO industry. Our coalition stretches from the Bayfield and its superior shoreline to Janesville, to the beautiful driftless regions in the western parts of the state, and to those communities in the east sitting on the Lake Michigan shoreline. We believe that Wisconsin citizens deserve more protection from the DNR and our elected officials than we are seeing today, and the recent legislative audit report is evidence. We believe the government's primary task is to protect the health and safety of its citizens, and we intend to engage and demand accountability from our legislatures and regulatory officials until we have certainty that they are working for us, not the CAFO industry. Our 5-point request to Wisconsin lawmakers is simple. 1, raise your awareness on the debilitating community impacts of the CAFO industry locally and statewide. 2, ensure that all regulations and safeguards are in place to protect both rural and urban Wisconsin communities from CAFO contamination threats. 3, support enforcement of health and environmental standards violated daily by many of the state's CAFOs. 4, immediately focus legislation that corrects the flawed DNR rulemaking and lack of enforcement highlighted in the June 2016 Legislative Audit Bureau report on the DNR's wastewater permitting and enforcement. 5, introduce and champion new legislation that protects drinking water from statewide. This is a big deal. We're demanding accountability from the CAFO owners, our regulators, and our elected officials. And it can get heavy. We're up against quite a brick wall of money and political influence. But we can't let this wall of political influence, this wall of money that sits and those beyond those doors discourage us. Struggle and adversity is what brought us together today. We're here because of a struggle for our water, our air, our homes, our children's future, and the quality of life in our rural communities. Sounds pretty David and Goliath, right? Well, here's the secret about struggle. It's not all bad. Struggle is what prompts us to ask ourselves the following 3 questions. Who are we? What do we value? And how do we protect what we value? When we answer these questions around our kitchen tables, in the aisles of our grocery stores, in library meeting rooms or church basements, we are marrying that struggle to creation, to the act of living our way into the future that we want to see. One story, one person, one stand at a time. Struggle is only bad if we decide the fight isn't worth it. And we all know this fight is not only worth it, it's steeped in elemental, capital T, truth. The truth that says that we have a right to clean water, clean air, and to be safe in our homes. I like to tell them, the cornerstone of industrial ag is simple. Privatize profits while socializing costs. Agribusiness is entrenched in our state houses, where big ag lobbyists have an undue amount of influence in the legislative, regulatory, and legal arenas. But Wisconsin citizens are standing up and we're fighting back. Factory farming is not about feeding the world. It's about feeding the bottom line of industrial ag, and it's time to demand accountability from these factory farm owners, our elected officials, and our regulatory agencies. An informed and committed citizenry is the key to creating lasting change. Standing together and unified in our message, we will exercise our collective will to protect our rights to clean water, clean air, and a good quality of life. This regulatory certainty that was provided by the passage of the livestock sighting law in 2006 by Governor Doyle with bipartisan support has resulted in an explosion of industrial ag in Wisconsin. And the surge of out-of-state agribusiness corporations is about to hit us full force. We need legislative and regulatory action right now to protect citizens from the grave consequences posed by these factory farms. Our elected officials are the gatekeepers to that legislative action, and they must stand with us, shoulder to shoulder, to protect our right to be safe in our homes. We need abundant water, public health, the right of Wisconsin citizens to be safe in their homes. These are bipartisan issues. These issues are human issues. Contamination makes no distinction between belief systems. It doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat. CAFOs are an equal opportunity hazard. They harm everyone, regardless of gender, age, race, creed, and political belief. Not only are we all susceptible to the ill effects of industrial factory farm contamination, we all have a responsibility to change it. That means that citizens, you all and everyone you know, and from all four corners of the state, we have to start engaging with our government. And that means, with that engagement, our elected officials have to start drafting and championing legislation that protects their constituents, not corporations. We need action from the folks who are elected to represent we the people in this building behind me. They hold the keys to the legislative solutions that we're seeking, and they hold the keys to stopping the rampant factory farm pollution that is poisoning our communities. There is nothing, not the bought and paid for opinions from our Attorney General, not the ineptness and corruption from the Governor down to Secretary Stepp and others, not the DNR's blacklisting of citizens who exercise their right to a transparent government, that will stop our coalition and its legion of Wisconsinites who are determined to protect this state and their families from the massive regulatory failure that we see across Wisconsin. David Brower, founder of the League of Conservation Voters, said, "Polite conservationists leave no mark save the scars upon the earth that could have been prevented had they stood their ground." We intend to stand our ground, and we are inviting our elected officials to stand with us. The line that says, "Citizen Wisconsin," we have the right to turn on our faucets and have clean and abundant water flowing from our taps. The line that says, retroactively incorporating Attorney General Brad Schimmel's opinion on the cumulative impacts of high-capacity wells, which flies in the face of the Supreme Court 2011 Lake Beulah decision, is a blatant abdication of the DNR's role as the gatekeeper to the Wisconsin Public Trust Doctrine. The line that says the self-regulating and self-reporting permitting program currently used by the DNR to manage CAFOs is causing widespread damage and harm in our rural communities. Wisconsin has a proud heritage of conservation, and some of the greatest champions of nature have called this state home. Sigurd Olson, Alva Leopold, and Gaylord Nelson, to name a few. And I urge our elected officials to remember these words from Alva Leopold as they consider their responsibilities as members of the Wisconsin State Assembly and Senate. For unnumbered centuries of human history, the wilderness has given way. The priority of industry has become dogma. Are we as yet sufficiently enlightened to realize that we must now challenge that dogma or do without our wilderness? Do we realize that industry, which has been our good servant, might make a poor master? We have drawn a line that says our rights to clean water and clean air trumps regulatory certainty. That industry is indeed a poor master. We will continue to build our coalition to come together and stand unified to protect both the landscape and the people of Wisconsin, because we have a lot at stake. Simply put, we're people who are protecting our water, our homes, and quality of life from an industry with a horrid track record of polluting and poisoning rural communities. We're asking our elected officials to listen to us, the citizens of Wisconsin, who are fighting to keep their communities safe from the dangers posed by factory farming. Nancy Utech, a farmer from Kewaunee County, summed it up perfectly at the Factory Farm Summit a few weeks ago in Green Bay. She said, "We want democracy where we live. This is about protecting
so we know how to do it. Another shout out to all of the people here, the people around the state who are in harm's way and take on this fight for all of us. There's a public health crisis facing our rural communities, people who are unlucky enough to live near these industrial livestock facilities. And the problem was created right here in this building. I wanted to begin by just putting some context on the problem of animal factories in our state.
That would be the right thing to say.
It was a Democratic legislature and a Democratic governor that put the interests of big ag money over our citizens when they took away almost every right of a local community to say no. It's been over a decade now. Prior to the passing of the livestock facility siting law, communities did have a right to say no. They had a right to put conditions on industrial livestock facilities that wanted to site themselves in their communities. They were able to put conditions to protect public health, clean water, and that right was taken away. So in this political season, I want you to remember, just checking a box of the color shirt that you usually like, green, blue, red, that isn't enough. You really need to make sure that all of your candidates and all of your elected officials understand that you